All right, just in case you guys didn't catch this, here's Pastor Mark Burns on Roland Martin show. Now all of a sudden he's going to be contrite and recognize that he acted like an ass putting up that blackface video, I'm sorry, cartoon of Hillary Clinton. Here we go.
Right now from South Carolina's Pastor Mark Burns. Pastor Burns, yesterday you I want to talk Donald Trump. You also posted this cartoon yesterday depicting Hillary Clinton in blackface. Got lots of reaction all across social media. It says, if the police, who actually has language there, no hot sauce, no peace, Hillary 2016. What say you about the criticism of that cartoon?
Well, first of all, Roland, thank you for having me on your show. Again, it's always a pleasure to be here. Just to be honest with you, in hindsight, if I would have, I don't think I've used the best judgment in utilizing that picture. And I don't want to sound like I've taken a step back, because I still stand behind the message that picture represents. But I obviously I offended so many people, and the blackface is offensive. So I erroneously, when I posted it, and of course I didn't make it, it was already on Twitter, it was already on social media.
You just realizing that blackface was offensive, you just realizing that, okay? It took a firestorm from Twitter to make you realize that blackface was offensive? Okay.
But I really wanted to, I thought the picture represented the message that stated blacks have been used by the Democratic Party, and that we, in many cases, are not operating at the same level that other ethnic groups are in this country. And yet we've been voting en masse. And yes, we have progressed a lot. We've gained a lot, but we're still not moving at the same speed that other ethnic groups are in this country. And I believe the voting bloc of the African American community is already belongs, at least in the minds of the Democrats, already belong to the Democratic Party.
But Pastor Burns,
I'm of the opinion that we should make the Democrats fight for our votes.
But Pastor Burns,
see, everything he said there, nobody would have a problem with, okay? It's called accountability. If he had just pushed those points about progress, and he even acknowledged that we have made progress, but we haven't made all the progress that we should have. Nobody's got an argument with that. If he had made the argument that the Democrats haven't fulfilled all of their promises, or hardly any of them, nobody would have had an argument with that, okay? But when he turns out and starts talking about the blacks coming off plantations and that kind of bullshit, nobody's ready to hear that, because that's a bunch of bullshit. If he had just concentrated on accountability, he would have had a quasi-winning argument. Now he's still in trouble because, he's got nothing from the GOP side, okay, as far as their plans and offers in order to try to level the playing field. And I always say level the playing field. I never say handouts or stuff like that, okay? But level the playing field so that we have an equal opportunity to succeed, not an enhanced, okay, or propped up opportunity to succeed, an equal opportunity to succeed, which means that we turn around and do the same things that everybody else does, and our records are put side by side when we have that equal playing field, and then we go from there, all right? Because, nobody, wants to deal with someone who has no credentials and flip them into a position that they, number one, don't deserve having worked for and can't even operate within, okay? Nobody wants that. At least I don't. But if I'm just as good as the guy next to me, I want an equal shot. If I paid my dues, okay, I've gone to school, I've gotten good grades, I've gotten into positions, worked my way up. I want an equal shot, and I don't think there's anybody out there that is going to argue with me about that. Anyway, I'm ranting. Let me continue.
What caused you to now apologize? Pastor Bird, I'm sorry, I know there's a delay. That's a delay, so give me just 1 second. First of all, it looks like we lost the satellite feed. We're trying to actually get that extended right now. And so, folks, give me a sense of what's going on here. That is Pastor Mark Burns, of course, one of the top surrogates for Donald Trump, who just apologized for sending this cartoon here. This was a cartoon yesterday that he posted of Hillary Clinton. That was a second cartoon as well. Do you guys have that one as well? The second cartoon was a second cartoon where he had a photo of Hillary Clinton in braids. And once he posted those, again, led to lots of anger on social media. Burns was defending it yesterday, but now he is apologizing right here on News One Now on TV One. And so we're trying to work to extend the satellite window. Let's do this here. Let's go to a quick break. We'll be right back. Folks, I want to go back to our interview with Pastor Mark Burns. We lost the satellite there, so we now have him on the phone. So Pastor Burns, as we were talking, for your apology, was this asked for by the Trump campaign, or did you make it on your own accord?
Absolutely not asked by the campaign, not at all. I'm a pastor, contrary to some maybe the public, general public may not believe, but I truly love people. I truly believe that when there's an offense that is done, even though if it was not even intentional, if there's an offense done, I believe it's our biblical obligation to offer the apology. And so again, I truly apologize for the offensive blackface image of that cartoon and the depiction of the blackface is offensive by itself. And as an African American man in America, I don't stand by anyone portraying themselves in a blackface, but the message that I intended, I still stand behind. But my apology is because I think my message got lost in the translation of the methodology began to overshadow the message. And so I don't stand behind the methodology. So obviously, in hindsight, if I could do it again, I would still get the message out there, but use a different methodology.
You made a point about Democrats and them taking the black vote for granted, but here's the reality. Republicans have not made a consistent effort to actually go after the black vote. There are examples of Republicans who have done that. George Vinovich, the late George Vinovich, who was, of course, the mayor of Cleveland, governor of Ohio, who was a U.S. senator from Ohio, sat down with, worked with, communicated with, partnered with, and he ran for the U.S. Senate, got something around 40% of the black vote. So I think one of the mistakes that Republicans make, whether they're black or white, is to somehow put it on black folks as if black folks are dumb, as if we don't make smart choices, as if we're not making informed choices. Black folks are making informed choices, and that is when one party routinely ignores them, then where else are you going to turn to?
Well, I 100% agree with you, Roland, that the Republican Party en masse has not really many of the policies that the Republican Party in general has not been, designed, for specifically for African Americans in this community. And in general, the Republican Party, not saying that all Republican candidates, but in mass, the Republican Party has not went after the African American vote as the Democratic Party has done. And I do agree with you that, in large partly, it's almost as though that between the two parties, you're not really giving the African American community a choice to decide, because you're going to support the party that you feel that has policies that are related to your community. The problem problem with that is that the policies within the Democratic Party it is color specific, race specific, but it's not creating the wealth and prosperity as a group as it should be.
But here's the deal, though. I mean, look, I get that point, but again, it's a lot of broke white folks in this country as well who also keep voting for Republicans, and so let's not act as if all of a sudden, black folks are voting for Democrat. Again, last question for you. Trump is sitting down with this pastor in Detroit on Saturday. And so my question is, when is Donald Trump actually going to sit down with black journalists, folks who actually cover these issues on a daily basis, to take those questions?
Well, I believe, as I said to you before, as we gather up a plan, I do believe there's a time for everything, and I believe.
We got about 70 days. I think it's like 69 days left before the election, so time is kind of running out. I mean. All right, well, Pastor Mark Burns, we certainly appreciate it. Sorry we had the technical difficulties, but certainly thank you for joining us right here on News 1 now, TV 1.
And I honor you, Roland, for the things to do for our community, and thank you for TV 1 and your wonderful show.
I appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
All right, that's a contrite Pastor Mark Burns. But again, he's backing a bad horse, but at least he acknowledged that the Republicans have never actually gone out after the black vote, and particularly after the Civil Rights Acts, Voting Rights Act, Fair Housing Acts were put into place. It seemed like the Republicans got pissed off about the attempt to level the playing field, and they basically turned their backs and started ignoring black people. They had an equal chance when all of that went down to do the right thing in order to be able to appeal to black voters, and they just didn't. So anyway, it is what it is. I'm going to play this behind his initial rants and raves on MSNBC. Roland Martin made a reference to a second image that Pastor Mark Burns had tweeted out. And this is the image that he tweeted. And these are some of the comments that were made when he tweeted that image. Mark Burns needs to check out his relationship with Jesus. None of this comes from Jesus Christ. With denial of Trump's racist rhetoric and bigotry, Pastor Mark Burns represents Trump, not God. Funny how people who believe liberal lies can speak for God. Scripture has final authority. Sure does, but this is why Hillary Clinton will win, because they are so far away from it. I mean, there were tremendous amounts of tweets here. Here's another one. Classic example of racist white right. Enough said. And there's another tweet that someone said, "We won the poorly educated vote. I love the poorly educated." No kidding. I mean, that particular image, I don't understand what this guy was thinking when he put out both those cartoons. It's ridiculous.